Hello and welcome to my Keto Kitchen. I'm Victoria. Today I'm going to show you how to make 3 lattes. Now, I would consider myself a coffee fanatic. The probably even harder than not eating sweets when it came to keto was coffee, because I love Starbucks, and one of my favorite was their white chocolate mocha. And I believe, at least back when I was drinking it, that it was the highest carb and sugar of all of their drinks. So I couldn't have that anymore, and when I first started making different lattes and drinks at home, I was extremely disappointed, to where I just said, forget it. No, I'm doing keto, but at this moment I have to go down to the coffee shop, and today I have to have some type of mocha or some type of latte, because I can't do this. Everything I'm making is just terrible. The aftertaste from all the sweeteners was awful. The fact that I was using brewed coffee, I didn't understand that I needed to use instant coffee. So that also created a big problem in taste. But finally got it down, and guys, typically I will only have one of the chai tea lattes, because I make a double size of the chai tea latte. Of the pumpkin spice, I just started having that. So yeah, I'm having at least 2 of those a day. And then I'm going to show you my original latte, just an original latte, and I'm going to show you what I do to have that. And this I would have 2 to 4 times a day, and I was super glad when I got my milk down and figured it out to where it was just right, to where each latte is only 2 carbs a piece, so that I could deal with. I try and do 30 carbs a day. Now, if you guys see me on vacation, we just went to Disney last week. If you see my husband and I out on a date, now that my channel's growing, I sit there on dates, or if we take our kids out to eat, we went to Disney. You are not going to see me do keto. I'm not doing keto on vacation. I did do keto on our anniversary date. I was just doing really good, and I just stuck with it. They had mushrooms, they had stuffed mushrooms, they had steak and mushrooms. I can do that kind of stuff all day long, and I have no need to break keto. I love that kind of thing. I want to show you these 3 lattes that are delicious, that actually taste good. I'm going to show you why, and I'm going to tell you why it doesn't taste good. If maybe you're making it in your kitchen and you hate it and you want to quit, but you need your latte, you need your coffee, it's important to your everyday. So let's do this. Okay, step 1, we have to have our keto milk. Now, I will link right here this keto milk. This milk is 2 net carbs per cup. For me, that's nothing. I like 30 carbs a day, and actually I don't eat breakfast, so it's between 15 carbs for lunch and 15 for dinner. And many days, since I figured out these recipes, many days I just don't eat lunch. I have no need for lunch, because I'm drinking one of these, and it's just great, and it holds me over. And then I have all 30 carbs for dinner, but I also like the OMAD diet a little bit. I want to start with the most simple of everything. Let's just start with your classic latte, just an original latte, no extra flavor, but just a delicious hot latte. Okay, now I'm being very exact here because I'm doing this video, but usually I don't use a measuring cup to measure my milk, because I know where it lands on the cup. But you want 1 cup of this keto milk, which for me lands right here at the top of the handle. Okay, now I'm going to put this in my microwave for 1 minute and 40 seconds. That's the perfect heat for me. So there are 2 things that you need to know to make a latte actually taste good when you're making it a 0 sugar latte. Step 1, you need to use a keto milk. Now, I recommend my milk. I feel like I've been through every milk in the world. My least favorite for me is almond milk. I cannot stand unsweetened almond milk. The vanilla is not bad, but when I make a coffee, it's like when the coffee hits that almond milk, it gets 1,000 times more bitter, and it's awful. So for me, I have to have some type of milk from a cow. And that's what I have right here. This keto milk, I've already linked it. I highly recommend you checking it out. Watch that video, consider making it, taste it, see what you think. It is my absolute favorite. It is it's the closest thing to milk that I have come across. So I'm gonna tell you guys what's next. So we have a hot keto milk. You have to have instant coffee. One of the things that I was doing that I didn't know I should not be doing was brewing a hot cup of coffee that's very watered down and then just adding a little bit of milk to it, which is fine if that's what you like, but I wanted a latte. So I was expecting a thick, milky, good tasting result, and I never got that. So it only got delicious when I started using instant coffee. Now I will link this instant coffee down in the description box. I use organic. I personally am not really okay with non-organic coffee because of the beans and pesticides and all that fun stuff. But you need 1 teaspoon of instant coffee. And that instant coffee just dissolves immediately. And 1 tablespoon of keto sweetener. Now, I am using Truvia. What turned me on to Truvia was when we lived in Oklahoma, there was a tea, like a fast food tea place. They just sold tea. It was called HTO. Very good. And all of their sugar-free teas was sweetened with Truvia. That is why I started using Truvia. Truvia has made the difference in my keto food and my drinks. So that's what I use. That's what I recommend. I do really, really like it. You can most definitely use a milk frother here. However, I bought this milk frother. I will link this in the description box below. This, I'm pretty sure this would beat bread dough. This thing is so powerful that if I were to stick it in this cup right now, it's going everywhere. So I only use my milk frother when I use mason jars because I can tilt it and there's the lip that will kind of hold the drink in. But if I were to stick this in here right now and try and froth it, not gonna happen. I will make a huge mess. But this right here is just a traditional latte. Just a hot coffee you can have maybe on a cold day, which I will have a hot coffee on a 110-degree day, okay? That's just me. It's just so good. If you're like me and you're a coffee fanatic, and if you're able to use the exact ingredients, like use the milk I recommend, use the Truvia, use the instant coffee, and you taste what I'm tasting right here, you will avoid all temptations at coffee places. Just take it with you. Okay, so now I'm going to use this cute little mason jar. We need 1 cup of my keto milk. Something I look forward to showing you guys is that this keto milk, even when it's cold, I can take this frother and froth it up the glass. Next, for the pumpkin spice latte, you need 1/2 teaspoon of instant coffee. For this one, I am using a decaf. I have a regular and I have a decaf. Next, you only need 1/4 teaspoon of a pumpkin pie spice. I might have gotten this one from Target. This one tastes really, really good. So we need 1/4 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. And then I like 1 tablespoon of my Truvia for every 1 cup of my milk. Now, we're gonna use my frother. I have to be careful because even on low, I will froth all the milk out of this glass. And I'll link this in the description box below. If you have not been satisfied with the milk frother, this could over satisfy. Okay, I think we're about to go outside the glass. You see we were down here and now we're up here in just a few seconds. Now, I'm gonna go put some ice in this, grab a straw, and I'll be right back. So here we are, we have a pumpkin pie spice latte, iced. I like to stand here and say, oh, it's so good, but you've got to taste it because it meets the expectation of an iced coffee. If you have an expectation like me, it's almost impossible to hit the expectation of a regular traditional latte and then turn it into keto. It's usually bitter and terrible. This could not be any better. I don't know how it could be any better. There's no bitterness. It's sweet. There's no aftertaste. So I'm not getting a weird erythritol aftertaste. I'm not getting any aftertaste. It just tastes like pumpkin pie. And it's so good. It's so good. I get to drink all of these today. Okay, now I want to show you guys how to make a chai tea latte. This is probably when we're out and about one of my favorites. If I don't need a whole lot of caffeine but I still want to pick me up, I go with chai tea. For the chai tea latte, I like to use 2 cups of milk. Might have overdid that just a tad. Okay, now for this one, I will link this chai tea powder. I'll link this in the description box. I poured it out of his bag and put it into a sealed container. I like this better, but it'll be in the description box. And right here, I need half of a tablespoon of this chai tea powder. And I need 1.5 tablespoons of my Truvia sweetener. Now you use as much or as little sweetener as you want. Just be more specific on this is 2 cups of keto milk and half of a tablespoon of the chai tea powder that I'll link in the description box. Once again, I am going to take this and I am going to mix it up. And look at this. Do you see how high it grew just for a few seconds? This milk is not weak. It will froth for you. Perfect. I'm going to fill this up with ice and be right back. All right, here we are. Iced chai tea latte, 0 sugar. Yes, yes. Okay. If you have not made my milk, in order to make these taste this good, you have to use my milk. You really need to use that milk. That milk has half and half in it, which has a lot of fat. So when we whip this, when we use the frother, we're gonna get all that foam that we want. Whether it's cold, this is cold. And you see this? It foamed up, no problem. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed making these drinks. I really hope they're a blessing to you. I hope you enjoy them this fall. Share them with your friends, with your family. Have a wonderful fall. I'll link everything that I used here in the description box below, and I hope you all have a blessed day.